They're gonna submit to it. They're not happy about it, but they will submit. So we're sacrificing Ivan Codwell for a fact. He's gone. Get him out of here. Purge the heretic for the Lord, Chernobog. Purge the heretics, my friends. No, I have not forgotten to do the introduction. I just love that little entry to the title screen so much. I wanted you guys to kind of experience a bit. This game is so atmospheric in a very minimalistic way. But anyway, let me do my thing here. Welcome to the Shrouded Isle. I'm your host, the Birdman known as Falcon. Anyway, Falcon, what is the game about? This is a really cool premise. You are running a cult. This is essentially a cult management game with a lot of inspiration by Lovecraft. Essentially, every single year, you are going to be sacrificing one of your advisors to appease the god under the waves, Chernobog. So our job is to purge the heretics. If you've seen the movie The Village, I believe, by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, that's essentially what's happening here in this game. There is a world outside of our little island, but it is up to you to make sure these people don't ever question the beliefs of Chernobog, the god under the water. 497 years ago, our founders saw that humanity would perish except the worthy. Our Lord will return in glory to reward the faithful. Yet there are sinners in our community. Those heretics. As the high priest, I must select a sinner to sacrifice every season. 3 years until Judgment Day. If we are free from sin, he will save us from the suffering. You are the high priest. There are 5 big families in the game. Now, every year we have to sacrifice a sinner. If the person that you sacrifice isn't necessarily a sinner, your reward isn't that really high, and you're also running the risk of that family that you sacrifice to turning against you. If a family turns against you, game over. If your ignorance falls below and stays here for 2 years, game over. Fervor, discipline, penitence, obedience, all that, game over. You cannot let people start questioning the beliefs of the high priest and the god Chernobog. So it's your job, your duty, to get rid of the heretics before that actually happens. So right now we do have the cathedral. We have a letter has arrived. Let's check what this is all about. An inspiration. Dear leader, I must ask that you resign and allow Zoya Yosefka to take your place. Clearly Zoya speaks with the ringing silver trumpet that is Lord Chernobog's truth and justice. I look forward to your quick and hearty support. A concerned citizen. So they want to kick me out of this already. Zoya Yosefka, huh? And over here, I'll let you guys pause and read if you want to, but there's going to be a lot of information about these people, a lot of different type of traits that will either make them a sinner, worthy of, being sacrificed or not, etc., etc. Try to identify the sender. House Cagney will enjoy leading the investigation. Discipline Zoya. Encourage obedience, but make a public example of Zoya. Encourage obedience, but. So, these two will actually increase obedience, but at the same time there's going to be a little bit of downside for it. And over here we can try to identify the sender, which apparently House Cagney will enjoy leading the investigation. Let's go with try to identify the sender. House Cagney reports that the letter likely originates from House Cadwell. So our approval with Cagney went up by +10. So apparently the Codwells right here, they're neutral towards us. They're not too crazy about us, although the Effersons are also dissatisfied at -40. Okay, so that's out of the way now. Select a seasonal advisor from each house. Now we have to go to every single house and we have to figure out who's going to be the advisor for this year. So every year you will have an inquiry. If you are either a neutral or approved by that family. If you're they're dissatisfied with you, you will not get an inquiry, meaning you can't get really any information about the person you're choosing. So right now, since we have an inquiry with these individuals, we're gonna come over here and find out. See, this guy knows too much, which is not good for ignorance. That'll make ignorance drop, and then people start questioning my ways. The heretics will start questioning my ways. You're apparently ignorant right off the bat, which is actually pretty good. So let's find out if I can maybe get this guy out of the way. So I will do an inquiry on Dimas. Now, we learned something else about him. He is full of fervor. However, we did not identify why he knows too much. And if you identify why, then you have a reason to sacrifice without not much of a consequence. If you just sacrifice without giving people a reason, then you're kind of in trouble because people don't like that too much. So right now we're going to appoint an advisor from the family of Cagney. And unfortunately, since you're ignorant, I want to keep ignorance high. I'm going to pick up Maria Cagney. Okay. So you're going to be the advisor for this year. Now, since she's the advisor, she is one of my candidates for sacrifice at the end of the year, too. Now, let's go over to House Yosefka, who is plus 40 satisfied. Let's do an inquiry here. So who do we want to find out more about? You're ignorant, you're unrepentant, so you do not like the idea of penitence, do you, Zoya Yosefka? Weren't you the person they sent the card about to, the letter? Let's inquire on him. He's a narcissist. Now, a narcissist is a sin, in the game anyway, but it's a minor sin. So, you see how it says minor vice down there? I could sacrifice him, but the reward won't be too high for that. If it's a major vice, then you have a really good stand right there. But in case we can't find anything else better, I think this might be the one we have to go with. So I'm going to appoint Zoya as the advisor. So there you go. 2 down. Let's go over here to the Conwells now. Again, I could be reading all this stuff about them. There's a lot of information about the game, but I'm also trying to streamline it a bit more so we're not spending too much time reading, and I want to show you the meat of the game, essentially, here. But again, take your time if you pick this up for yourself. And if you want to see more of the game on the channel, you let me know. And I'll do a couple more videos where we're just kind of taking more slowly here. But right now, I'm trying to give you the meat of the game here. So we do have an inquiry with the family Cadwell. So let's see here. You're apparently unrepentant. You know too much. Let's see if we could probably get a vice on Ivan Cadwell. Oh, he is an artist, which happens to be a major vice. I think we might have found a really good person for sacrifice here. So Ivan Cadwell, again, your job is to limit these people about knowledge of the outside world. This guy being an artist over here and being like, hey, check out my paintings, guys. I'm very, progressive. That's no good. That's no good for our cult. So Ivan Cadwell, you, my friend, are probably being sacrificed. So there we have him. Let's go over here to the Efferson estate. Now, these people are dissatisfied, so we don't have an inquiry. Unfortunately, we have to pick somebody, but we cannot find out anything about this family here today. So I guess it doesn't really matter who we pick. I'll just go with, actually, let me see if I can pick somebody that'll give me some buffs over the year. Undisciplined, lacking fervor. I guess we'll pick up Bogdan Efferson. Alright. And finally, let's come down here to the Blackborns. They're neutral, so we do have an inquiry. Undisciplined, man, a lot of you guys don't have much, huh? You're penitent already, so how's our penitence? It's kind of low. I really wish we had somebody with a lot of, discipline so we could boost that, because that's also kind of low. I guess we'll pick you up. Let me inquire on you. Excellent! That's a major virtue for us right there. So, Peter. Isn't that like Peter in, a foreign language, like Russian or something? Piotr? Isn't that like Colossus' real name? Or am I wrong about this? Whatever. Anyway, that's a really good stuff for him to have, because he loves to accuse people, which is great. It's our little sheep mentality that we love. So I'm going to pick him up for a couple of buffs, but not for a sacrifice. So you're going to be my advisor for the Blackburn family. So now we have everybody chosen. We are ready to begin our season now, which will be 3 months of these people. They're going to go out and they're going to essentially preach the word of whatever to anybody who will listen. Now, we could choose 1 to 3 advisors every single month. If you don't have to do 3, you can just do 1. Now, if you only do 1, you'll get a bigger boost from that family, but everybody else will be unhappy that you didn't, choose their family for something, so you kind of have to limit it to some degree. Now, you love to burn books, which is, that's going to be your role. Let's see how much this does for us. Now, look down here. You see this? The ignorance went up. Kegney is very satisfied. However, Yosefka family, the Codwells, and Blackborns, they're not too happy about it. Everybody's got thumbs down. So we could do that one. Now, if I do ignorance, it doesn't seem that anything else drops, which is actually pretty good. What about Zoya? Now, check Zoya out. Fervor went up, but you see penitence now? It's in the red. And being in the red for 2 years is game over, I believe, so we don't want that. You're the narcissist with the minor vice. Ivan Conwell, you're the artist, you're probably who I'm sacrificing, so you will drop ignorance really low because why? He's an artist. That's we don't want that happening. But discipline will indeed go up, but I can't really risk it. What about Efferson? Efferson will increase penitence and nothing else. That's pretty good. We'll probably pick you up. And then Piotr. Ooh, penitence and obedience. That's actually really good. You know what? Let's go with you guys. Who's dissatisfied with me? Efferson family. So what if I do you guys and you guys? Will you go up? I hope so. So, if I choose two of you guys, you're neutral, you're satisfied with me. Let's see if this works out. I'm gonna go with this one here. So now, Bogdan is doing his thing, penitence. Now, he's got a virtue that we don't know anything about, so we're not sure what that affected. and we found out that he is a linguist. We don't like that too much now, do we, here? So we discovered a vice. He's a linguist, which is not good. It's a minor one, but it's still something that actually hurts us in the long run. Next result. Piotr. Heresy. Good. Keep making him go up. Oh man, I love... No! Piotr's vice! There's a vice rumor on him. He knows too much, maybe. Okay. Alright, that went pretty good, though. That went pretty good, I'm gonna say. Now, they're satisfied, neutral, and the goal is to get everybody over, at least to neutral, so we have inquiries about the family. So we might have to do another Efferson run here pretty soon. So that worked out pretty good, I'm gonna say. Now we're going over here to April. Our ignorance did go down quite a bit, and I have a feeling that is because we chose our linguist friend over here. So... But the thing is, I need to choose them because I want them to go up to neutral. So I'm going to say we go with Bogdan again, even though it's going to hurt ignorance, but we can now go ahead and use Maria Kegny to counter that to some degree. Is there anybody else that increases ignorance for me? Not particularly, but if I do you and you, Effersons go to neutral, which is something I'm hoping to do. So I hope this doesn't bring us into the red. Let's give it a try. So we're burning books, ignorance is going up. More ignorance is a virtue, and then she has a vice that we don't know much about. So it had an impact on the community. We're not sure what it is, though. Again, sinners being flagellated. Full of fervor, and again, ignorance dropping. But, as you can see, we're still... Oh, disciplines is going very, very low now. But now, everybody's in neutral, so I have an inquiry. We have one more month, though. We have one more month, and then we have to sacrifice. So we need to actually increase ignorance and discipline. So who can help me out with discipline? I don't think anybody can. Oh yeah, we could do Ivan Conwell. Ignorance is going to drop so high because of the major vice, though. I'm not sure if I need that happening. Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately for us, discipline is going to take a hit regardless. So, I think we go with you. This will drop you guys back to the satisfied. Oh man, discipline's going to go into the red, though. I have a feeling it is. I'm going to go with Yosefka over here. And hopefully this could help us out. Alright, let's give it a try. So we're burning books. Discipline, as you can see, is in the red now. I hope somebody can help me out with that. There it is. It's her vice. Maria Kegny's vice is the one that's really hurting discipline. That's the one that's really hurting us right there. So we gotta find out what that's all about. Alright, so a poor outcome for building the monument. Zoya's virtue went up a little bit, and then Zoya's vice, that dropped. Penitence a little bit. And finally the last one. It's gonna go up, that'll go up, and ignorance down. But at least everybody's in neutral now. Discipline's gonna be in red for 1 year, but it's still not the end of the world. I mean, technically their world. Everybody's in neutral? Yes, we got one inquiry of everybody. Perfect. Finished result, it is time for us to sacrifice somebody. So, who are we sacrificing? Well, I think it's very easy. We have somebody with a major vice. You're an artist, you must die, Ivan Codwell. So I'm gonna choose him. Now check this out. Uncertain virtue. Villagers who trust Ivan's reputation will feel conflicted and lose obedience. Which, luckily for us, is pretty high. Major vice. The villagers will be inspired to greater ignorance through the purging of the sinner. So ignorance going up because we're taking care of that. House Codwell will grudgingly submit to my decision. And they're doing that because why? He's got a major vice. If it was a minor one, they'd be like more like... So, they're going to submit to it. They're not happy about it, but they will submit. So we're sacrificing Ivan Codwell for a fact. He's gone. Get him out of here. Purge the heretic for the Lord, Chernobog. Purge the heretics, my friends. Through sacrifice, thy will be done. We sacrifice the life of Ivan in the name of Chernobog and the good of our people. Our condolences to Codwell. So... let's see here. The villagers praised Chernobog for ridding their community of a blighted soul. Ignorance went up, obedience went down, but luckily it's still pretty high, so this is actually really good. Not happy about discipline being so, there, but whatever. The night before the new season, a whisper caresses your dreams. My faithful servant, I await your devotion. Encourage obedience, unfaltering spirit of law and order. The cowardly one, give him to me. Okay, so Chernobog is whispering in our ears here. Warning, too many villagers are discarding the rituals of fasting and focus. I must enforce discipline by the end of the season. And if we don't do it, it's game over for us. Okay, So we do have any letters here? No letters available. So luckily though, we should have one inquiry already today. So let's go over here to the Cagney estate. Now, Maria, you were really good, but there's something about you that was really hurting her discipline. You're very undisciplined. I like the fact that you raised ignorance, but man, the undiscipline really hurt me quite a bit. Now, Katerina is apparently disciplined, so I could probably use her to raise that as her advisor. But remember, we also have to find somebody with a major vice this year to sacrifice properly. Let's see about Katerina. We didn't unfortunately figure out what that was. But she's unrepentant, meaning our penitence will go down. I'm gonna go with her because we do need to raise discipline, so maybe it's a good one for us. So we'll appoint her as the advisor for this family. Yosefka estate. Yosefka's, let's see here. Ignorant, okay. Narcissist is a minor vice. She's disciplined. Susan Yosefka is. You're disobedient, huh, Milos? Let's see. What? She's disciplined, but disobedient. Oh, obedience, right. Ooh, boy. Obedience went really high up, so this is gonna be... Oh, man. This might be a problem. This might be a big problem. Oh, man. Okay, so, I don't know who to pick here for my advisor. You're ignorant, so that would raise that. I need some more discipline, though. And the problem is we're not sure what this is, so that could be something for discipline and obedience that'll make it go down, which could hurt me a lot. So I'm not sure. Narcissist. We could go with Zoya again. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna risk it here, and I think we can... Well, that's not true. We actually probably should do Susan, because if obedience goes into the red, we still have one more year to actually rectify the issue. So yeah, let's just go with her. Alrighty, Codwells, you're dissatisfied? You're dissatisfied? Oh, right, because we killed somebody, so even though you were neutral, but then we killed somebody from your family, so okay. That is unfortunate. Disobedient, we can't have that. Disciplined, not sure what your other one is, but you know what? Let's go ahead and appoint you, because we need to erase our discipline anyway, so I'm going to appoint you. Okay, and then we have the Blackborns over here. Blackborns, undisciplined, not good. So, let's find out. Knows too much. Minor vice. Man, I was hoping that would be a major vice so I could just sacrifice him. So he's imaginative, which will decrease ignorance. It's a minor vice, not major, so it's unfortunately not something we could really sacrifice and get to fully benefit from. But you know what? It's the closest thing we have, so I'm going to have to go with Piotr. Piotr. And finally, the Efferson estate. Let's see what we got here. Linguist, which is a minor vice. You're undisciplined. You're undisciplined as well. Let's see if we could probably get... Yes! Yes, fellas. We got ourselves a pervert among us. I mean, I'm not praising the fact that he's a pervert, but he's a pervert, which makes it a major vice, so he is ripe for the picking to sacrifice to our lord. Chernobog. Purge the heretic. So, Rada... You have now probably made my hit list. Let's go. Let's begin our season here. So June. A new month begins. So what do we got here? Let's, alrighty. Let's find out what you guys do. Discipline needs to go up, so what happens if I go with Susan Yosefka? We didn't go anywhere with that. Katerina? Didn't go anywhere with that. Here we go. Codwell. Discipline, I'm good, my friend. So you would raise us up quite a bit. Everything else would remain satisfied. Yeah. What about you? Oh, that's no good. Piotr? Discipline goes down again, but obedience goes up. Anything else for obedience out here? No. Plus discipline would go down with anybody else, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we need to raise discipline, so I'm gonna go with just Codwell this time around. Oh, obedience went down into the red. This guy's got something that really hurt her obedience. It might be that stupid vice right here. Oh man, that's no good. Well, at least we raised discipline this time around. There we go. At least they're in a neutral now, so everybody's neutral or satisfied. Perfect. Now we gotta raise obedience, though. Okay, so who can help me out with obedience? You can help me out with that. Not you. We already went with you, obviously, and that was no good. Ignorance goes up with you guys. Ooh, that makes you guys very zealous. You guys will love me a lot. I wonder if that gives you 2 inquiries per year. I'd imagine it probably does. I guess we could probably... Oh, ignorance will go into the red? No. So let's go with 2 of you here. Because I need to raise obedience a bit. Penitence went down. Okay, that's your virtue, and that went down. Okay, that's not too bad. As long as obedience gets back up, we should be okay. Obedience, what the hell's the problem here? Ignorance, okay. Next result. We're still in the red over here, which is a problem. Satisfied, satisfied, dissatisfied again. No! I wanted you to have an inquiry with you guys, though. Alright, here's the last month. We need to get this obedience over red. But that's going to drop ignorance into red. I don't think it's going to happen this year, guys. Yeah, I think we're going into the red this year. Unless we could do obedience one more time and then something else for ignorance that'll help us get into the positives. Maybe you along with you. Of course, obedience won't get over the red, though. So, you know, pick your poison. Which one do you prefer? Efferences will be dissatisfied. This kind of works. Let's go with this one here. Alright, discipline went really, really high up, which is amazing. And we have a vice that we're not too aware of. And... okay. And obedience is going to go up. Okay, that's not too bad. That actually worked out really, really well. And I think we'll have everybody with at least one inquiry for next year. Of course, obedience is in the red, so we have to rectify that, otherwise it's game over. Okay, I'm down with this. Now it's time to sacrifice somebody to the Lord Chernobog here. The gathering convinces. Who will be the sacrifice this season? Well, I have Efferson the Pervert, which again will indeed probably mean that we're not going to have any favor with this family this year. But he's a major... oh wow, you're dropping my ignorance into red? That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I mean, I don't have to go with the major guy. I could do somebody else. Codwells will become rebellious if I do you. What about Susan Yosefka? Obedience actually go up, oddly enough. There will be outrage since I lack. So here's the thing about not having any sort of minor vice. The family will become outraged. Now, luckily, I'm good enough with them that it's not going to make them rebellious. They'll be dissatisfied. But oddly enough, that's going to increase obedience a bit. And let's see. I like proof here. Neutral, satisfied, neutral, neutral, neutral. Discipline will go down, sure. We might do this one just because... the major virtue of masochistic, though. Yeah. Like, I don't think, like, even though this guy has the major vice right there, it's gonna hurt ignorance, and, man, we'll have two things in the red, which is, I don't think it's good. I'm sorry to say, it's gonna have to be Yosefka. It's the one that we could probably stomach, and this will actually even increase a little bit of obedience. So I'm sorry to say, you pervert, Rada, you survived by just the fact that, unfortunately, the community wasn't behind it. It's our second sacrifice. We need one more if I'm right. Oh, look at the blood flowing now. Okay. A new season begins. Criminals and rebels talk openly of rebellion. I must enforce obedience by the end of this season. And there you guys have it. This is the Shrouded Isle. Really, really fun. I mean, if you're into this type of game like I am, then I think you're having a blast with it. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I will have all the information down below. If you want to see some more on the channel, you let me know in the comments. You let me know by leaving a thumbs up, and we shall do so. Otherwise, check it out for yourself. Really fun. I will catch you next time for Chernobog.